Hello everyone, this is Saurabh Moran and most welcome all on my YouTube channel Enjoy with Literature by SM. I hope you are good and well. So in this session today I will discuss the most important topic of the psycholinguistics, that is critical period hypothesis. Critical period hypothesis is not only a topic of the psycholinguistics but also it is the topic of the biological science. When we come to know the critical period hypothesis, this is the hypothesis that talks about the language learning in the childhood. Okay, so when we come to discuss a critical period hypothesis is derived from the concept of critical period in biological science, which means an organism must have acquired skills or ability. When we come to discuss the critical period hypothesis, that who proposed the model of the critical period hypothesis, then it was proposed by Wilder, Grass, Spanfield and Lamar Robert. We just look at this point here, critical period hypothesis. With the examination's point of view, the questions have been asked with two kinds. First, who proposed the critical period hypothesis and who popularized. Yeah. So when we come to know with the examination's point of view, then in examination with the examination's point of view, questions can be asked of two kinds. First, who proposed the model of the critical period hypothesis and who popularized the term critical period hypothesis. So when we come to the first one, then critical period hypothesis was proposed by Wilder, Graves, Penfield and Lamar Robert. Wilder, Graves, Penfield and Lamar Robert. When we come to know the Wilder, Graves, Penfield, he was a neurolinguist and also neurosurgeon of America and Canada. And he is known as the American Canadian neurosurgeon. Okay. Lamar Robert, he was a co-author. Okay. So when we come to know that who proposed the model, who proposed the term, the critical period hypothesis, then this was proposed by Wilder, Graves, Penfield and Lamar Robert. Next, when we come to discuss the term that was popularized, it was by Eric Lindbergh. Okay. Wilder, Graves, Penfield proposed this model in his book Speech and Brain Mechanism, which was published in 1959. Must remember this work. When we come to the term that was popularized by Eric Lindbergh in his book Biological Foundations of Language, which was published in 1967. The Biological Foundations of Language, this work was published by John Wiley and Sons. Okay. So the term critical period hypothesis was popularized by Eric Lindbergh in his book Biological Foundations of Language, which was published in 1967 by John Wiley and Sons. When we come to discuss that what is the critical period hypothesis, critical period hypothesis about the critical period hypothesis, Eric Lindbergh discussed that a human can learn language within a critical period. Means, and he made our age approximately 2 to 13. According to Eric Lenneberg, he said that a human can acquire a language within a critical period. To learn a language within a critical period is much more effective than to learn the language after the critical period. Okay, so Lenberg described this point with that if a human learn after the critical period, then he may have faced more difficulty, yeah, in learning a language. Yeah, if however he learned the language, then that will not be as a qualitative as he learned the language in a critical period. So critical period hypothesis is all about the learning of a language in a childhood. It is all about the learning of a language is we can say stages of a language acquisitions. Okay, so when we come to critical period hypothesis for learning a language, also there are some linguists, some more important linguists who given his own view. Like if we just discussed Noam Chomsky. Noam Chomsky is also derived, he gave two concepts, nativism and innateness. Yeah, that he told that a human or child has innate capacity of language, and also he described that a child is born with LED, language acquisition device. It means that a child has a device in his mind. Yeah, so when we came to discuss the stages of language, then there are so many stages, not so many, that are 5 to 6 or 7 stages of learning a language. Yeah, in which we can study that like cooing, babbling, holophrastic stage, two-word stage, and after that we can study telegraphic stage, and after that we can multi-letter, we can say multi-word stages, and after that motherage. Yeah, so when we come to discuss one of the most important psycholinguist, that is a Swiss psycholinguist whose name is Jean Piaget. He discussed the stages of language acquisitions are 4 kinds. Okay, I will not discuss briefly, but I will only just discuss the name. Okay, so when we come to discuss the stages of the language acquisitions, that was given by Jean Piaget. Someone pronounced this Piaget, I usually Piaget. Okay, so Jean Piaget, he just studied of the language acquisitions, or of 4 kinds. Yeah, in 4 types and 4 kinds. First was sensory motor stage. Second, he studied pre-operational stage. Third, the concrete operational stage. Fourth, he discussed the formal operational stage. Okay, so when we come to discuss with the point of view of Jean Piaget, Jean Piaget discussed the stages of the language acquisition of mainly 4 kinds. Yeah, in first stage he discussed as the sensory motor stage. Yeah, he just divide this in from 0 to 2 years. When he come to the pre-operational stage, that is from 2 to 6, this is from 7 to 12, and this is from 12 to so on. I mean that is 13. Okay. Okay. So there are some more stages of the language acquisitions. As already I have discussed, I will not. I will just only give you tell you a name. That cooing, babbling, holophastic stage, 3, and after that we have the two words stages. After that we have telegraphic stage. After that we have multi-word stages. After that we have motherage. Okay. So this was all about the critical period hypothesis, and we have two cases that is much more important which have been discussed so broadly. When we come to discuss the age of 1960, it is the time of 1960 when the stages of the language education was a very important phenomenon. And in this time, at this time, okay, so when we talk about, when we discuss the age of the 1960, this was the most important age, this was the most important time for the psycholinguistic researchers. Means there was Susan Curtis, she just studied two cases. First was Jenny, and second was Isabella. Okay. When we come to discuss these two cases, the first case is about Jenny. About Jenny, it is studied by the Susan Curtis that she couldn't find good social interactions till the age of 13. Means that Jenny couldn't find, she was not in a good environment. She couldn't find any good social interactions, due to which she hadn't good way of talking and manner. Okay. So when Susan studied Jenny, then she found that Jenny is the right hemisphere thinker. Right hemisphere thinker. As we all know that our brain is divided into two parts, left hemisphere and right hemisphere. Our language faculty mainly just located in the left hemisphere, while we come to discuss right hemisphere, then right hemisphere just do the work of some stimulus responses. Okay. So but here is a condition. When Susan Curtis studied Jenny, then she found that Jenny has a very poor phonology. Although she could learn English to the extant level, but she had a limited control over the syntax and morphology. Okay. So when Susan studied Jenny, the case that after, till the age of 13, she hadn't any, she was very poor in phonology, and she had very limited controls over the syntax and morphology. Means that Jenny she used her right hemisphere. Okay. So according to this case, she made a conclusion the conclusion was that if a human don't use his mind till the in the critical period, then his left hemispheres will not work properly, in the sense that if Jenny could learn the English language, he could be live in a good social environment, then her left hemisphere was good. But due to not be live, due to not in a good social interactions, not in a good environment, she lost, she couldn't learn a language. Okay, so this second was the cases of Isabella. Isabella had a conditions that she couldn't she couldn't learn a language because of her mother was deaf, and till the 6 years she couldn't learn a language. And after that, when Isabella was kept in a good environment, and she could able to learn a language. So the most important cases was only about Jeannie, because Jeannie till the 13 age she had a bad phonology, she had very poor phonology, and due to which she learned a language to the extent level of from the right hemisphere of side. Okay. So this was all about the critical period hypothesis. I hope that this video will much helpful for you all, and if this video you feel that this video was really very good, please do subscribe and share this video, and thank you for watching this video. Thank you so much.